Welcome to our team training today, you guys. This is going to be so good. I can't wait for you to listen to this. Brooke is one of my personal enrollees, and she was sharing something that she's recently been just like experimenting with, and it's really helped her to recruit a lot of ladies. So welcome, Brooke. We're so excited to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
And so, Brooke, before you dive into this topic of guest stylists in your parties, will you just kind of share with everybody about I love your story so much about your color shoot journey. Like, will you tell everybody?
Yes. So I started in June of 2019. And that's when I got my kit. But I froze because I heard that parties were the bread and butter of the business. And so I actually did nothing with my business until October of 2019. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a full year and I'm going to try to give it my all. And so my all was just posting in my VIP group 3 times a day. And when I started just doing that consistently, I started bonus qualifying. I've never not bonus qualified just from being consistent. But I had people coming to me asking me for parties and I would turn them down because I was still too scared. So I didn't actually have my first party until January of last year. And then I realized I'd made a mountain out of a molehill and I never looked back.
Yeah, and now you kill it with parties. Like, it's so because you were like hesitant. And I just love this story so much because I think you're not alone. I think there's a lot of people that are like, I don't really want to do parties, so I'm going to literally do everything else. And now you've like really mastered parties. I feel like you have, and you have been able to recruit so many people from your parties, right? Like the majority of where you recruit people, right?
Right. Absolutely. And I think that's because I share with them kind of like my fears. And so they can resonate with that. I think when you tell your story, people can identify with it more. So I try to do that.
Yeah. When you're just like vulnerable about everything and just real with people, it's so much more relatable. And they're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I could do this too, you know?
Absolutely.
So I love this. So guys, she's going to talk to us a little bit about how she's recruited some people doing this whole guest stylist concept. So will you explain what that is?
Yes. Well, first of all, let me start by saying, like, I start at the beginning, prepping my hostesses. If I think that they're rock star hostesses, if they're doing everything that I tell them to do and they're having fun with it and stuff like that, I start talking to them from the beginning. But let's just say that if you're too scared to talk to them about like that, you're not there yet. Asking them to be a guest stylist, I feel like is kind of like no pressure on you, no pressure on them. It's just an easy transition. And so like what I do is after we get to the last day, well, actually my parties end on Friday. So on Saturday, I will tell them whatever their balance is. Like if they're at like 99 and we're supposed to get to 150, I'll tell them how far they have till their next goal. Look, you have like, if they're at $90, you have $60 more. And then I will translate that into buy 3, get 1s. That's only 2 buy 3, get 1s because it sounds.
Yeah, sounds doable.
Right. So I tell them that. And then I tell them that they have a couple of options. And because a lot of times, even though they receive that email with their link, they don't do anything with it, And so I tell them, like, I'm going to send you your shopping link and I want you to text people, email them, or message via any kind of social media platform that you have. And just give them like, tell them you have a color street party and you wanted them to have your link so that in case they wanted to browse and shop and, go from there. And then I tell them, and you could also, and then I tell them about, you can become a guest stylist. And I tell them like a guest stylist is easy. I make you an admin to your page. And basically you can just copy and paste things that you see on my page. You can go to Google, you can go to Pinterest, and it gives them this no pressure kind of thing because they're like, oh, well, and I also tell them their date, that they have, like you have until April 20th, to do this. So if you want to do this until then, then you can kind of get your feet wet and see if that's something that you'd be interested in doing long time. And if not, you'll just get your sales up.
How long do you typically give them? Like how long is the deadline? Is it usually like a few days or like a week?
No, I let them have until the end when Color Street cuts off their time. You know, I tell them like you have until this to reach your next goal. So let's just say if it was the 90 and 150, but then once they get to 150, then I'd be like, okay, well your next goal was 300. Once you hit 300, and I tell them about their next percentage or whatever the case. And then I also, but the entire time I'm doing this, I'm also talking to them about becoming a stylist. You know, like how's it working for you? Like this, you know, and then they already should have the link to become one of my stylists just by I give them my enrolling link, you know, from the beginning.
Right. Yeah, you're so good at that, like planting that seed at the beginning. Can you kind of explain that process for people that maybe haven't heard it before? Like,
sure. So
at the beginning.
Yes. So I start at like my parties on Sunday evenings. And so by Monday and Tuesday, you can kind of tell the ones that are, you know, already having fun with it. They're already tagging people, they're making comments, they're showing their own nails. And I just tell them, like, you know, you should be selling nails with me. Like, you are amazing at this. And I kind of feel how they are about that. And let them come back and tell me something. And then I just kind of dive into my own personal story, which is a little bit longer than the one that I just gave you, but I do it via the voiced text because I feel like they can hear your emotion. They can hear like everything from that. And plus they have a chance to set the phone down while they're driving or while they're cooking, and they can listen to your whole story. And then, you know, they can identify with that better, like I said. And a lot of times, like with these, whenever you give them the opportunity to become a guest stylist, I mean, they have so many questions like, do I have enough time for this? This is going to show them, you know, how much time they can spend on it. Is scary that because the thing with me, I was so scared about parties. This gives them a chance to kind of, you know, play with a party and schedule out stuff and realize it's not scary.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like you're giving them like a free trial, but like they're not even signing up as a stylist. You're just giving them that like trial period that's like, okay, let me test this out. And then they're like, well, that wasn't that hard, you know?
Exactly. And then like you can tell them like, all right, well, you're making me money and you free nails. It's time to make you money and free nails.
Yeah. At what point do you convert them?
Well, I'm kind of talking to them all the way along the way, but I mean, I guess the ones that I have tried this with, I've only been doing this for 2 months. Normally, I was just doing, you know, talking to my hostess along the way, and then I guess I've just been calling it a guest stylist for 2 months. But they've kind of converted themselves. I guess I've said, you know, like we can start your launch party this. That's what I do actually. I'm like, I start my launch parties on Sundays. Are you interested in doing this? Like if there's a promotion going on or whatever. I mean, this month is the perfect month to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So you kind of, I guess I'm saying from the point that they begin being a guest stylist, when
I give them, it's normally just a couple of weeks, I guess. I mean, I give them the option to continue on as a guest stylist, but the whole time I'm saying like, you know, how are you doing it? You're doing such a great job, because so many of them, what's awesome, are all three of them that, you know, that the most recent ones, they're finding stuff. They're not just copy and pasting my stuff. They're finding stuff because they're enjoying it and having fun. Like it's so much fun to be a stylist, you know, and they're seeing that.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Because do you just say, oh, you can copy and paste my stuff from like
My VIP page.
your VIP page? Okay. But they're going and finding other stuff, which is great because you're like empowering them, right?
Yes.
They're coming.
I think that's absolutely what it is they see I can do this, you know, like this is fun. This is something that I can fit into my schedule.
Yeah. And I love that you do the voice messenger. I think that's super important because people can hear your tone, like you said, and it's just so much more. I don't know what it is. It's like I talk a lot about Clubhouse, and I think one of the reasons Clubhouse is such an amazing app is because people can hear your voice. Like, they're not reading your text; they're hearing it. They can hear your passion, your excitement, your tone. And I also love, Brooke, that you share your story. I think we forget about like our, you know, why we started. And you might be like, well, my story's not that mind blowing, but I feel like someone else is going to relate to that story, you know, even if it's just a really simple story, you know, of like, well, I wanted free nails. Someone else is going to be like, well, I want free nails too, or whatever your story is, someone else is going to, you know, relate to that as well.
Absolutely. And like when I first started, my story was your story. I would just tell them the things that I saw you do, because like I would be like, I was so intrigued because I had a friend on Facebook and I saw her go from, from the very beginning, from 2017, from posting nails, and then all of a sudden she's paying off student loans, and all of a sudden they're moving to their dream home. And so I was like, I watched her from the beginning until like I couldn't watch anymore. I was ready to jump in, so if you don't have a story, use your upline story, use someone's story.
That's so great. I love that idea too, because sometimes we're a little intimidated. Sometimes we need a trial period of our story. So you can use your upline story until you feel a little more comfortable sharing your story. I think you definitely need to definitely need to eventually share your
absolutely.
story. But yeah, like I love that idea too. So I just want to be really crystal clear with how it works. So because you told me, we were chatting we were like texting back and forth, and you said, you tell them, hey, you have two options. And I can't remember what the two options were. Like one was the guest stylist. What was the other option?
The other one was just to email, text, and message people out, like just send it via verbiage. Yeah.
So that's when they haven't reached like the 150 point or the 300 point. You're like, hey, here's where we're at, and here's what you can do at this point. You can either, text out, reach out to all your friends, or be a hostess and start posting in your group. So someone was asking, is this, in their, like, so they set up their own group? No, this is the party group that they, this was in their group that because they were having a party and they're trying to get their party to like that 150, 300 point.
Right. That's where I make them an admin. And then I announce on there, like, whatever their name is, let's just say Stephanie. Stephanie's decided to become a guest stylist. She's going to be continuing posting, so that the pressure is off of her. It's not so awkward for her to just start posting stuff, and I may even include a picture of her or whatever the case, or some kind of cute graphic with it, so that you're giving her a segue into doing that.
Super. Yeah, I love that. That's like a little boost. So everybody knows how it's transitioning to her. And then then she kind of takes over and that's for like, until she reaches that goal of 150 or 300.
Right. Yes. I mean, she can do it for as long until the link is closed. We have 60 days to do that. But in the meantime, I'm in her ear in the background, and I'm talking about promotions or this, or, I start my parties on Monday. How are you doing with this? Is this something that you want to do? I can schedule in a launch party on this date, because I like to give them, like you've known in the past, I like to give them deadlines, it makes it easier on them.
Yes. I love that. So then you're empowering them, and then you're continuing to plant the seed. So basically, when they take over as a guest stylist, it's almost like becomes their VIP group.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, because then once they do become a stylist, you do flip it to their VIP group. I mean, they're already an admin, and then by that point they can change the cover picture, and they can, just go from there, and then you can announce that they've become a stylist, and because they wanted to double dip, they wanted to, make money and earn free nails. So.
Right. I love that. Can you just share share a story of a recent stylist, hostess who became a guest stylist who became a stylist?
Sure. Yes. Well, one of them, she a hostess that was a guest stylist that became a stylist, and she's already recruited because she's already seen. It's been awesome.
That's cool.
They already feel comfortable, number one, posting, and they already know that they go from the everyday party post, several times a day. So it's like a rhythm. They know how to keep up with it. They know to continue doing what they're doing. And we go right into launch parties. And then from launch parties, they get their own parties, and then they just keep going, so it's like they never skip a beat. Like, I feel like it's almost easier for me because like they already are in the groove, rather if you just cold turkey, which it's great. I've had people that I've just never been a hostess before and went into it, but I feel like when they are a hostess first and then they become a stylist, they just never skip a beat. They know exactly the steps.
Yeah. I really love this transition because it goes from, it's not hostess to stylist, which can feel like a big jump for them. That's really scary. It's like it's little baby steps. It's hostess to guest hostess to stylist, and it
Yes.
transitions them to their VIP group,
Mm-hmm.
which helps them like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing now, you know, and then it doesn't feel so new and confusing. Like if you never, it's going to be a lot harder to recruit people if you're not, you know, if they've never even been in a party, if they've never been a hostess, you know. So I just love
So
this.
that's what I was like. I didn't know how to make a group. So just the overwhelming part of making a group, the overwhelming part of I've never been to a party, I've never seen what a party looks like. So they have all these things kind of working in their favor because these are things that have, you know, they've experienced already.
Right. They've already experienced the party. They already have a group. They don't even have to make one.
Mm-hmm.
They've already been posting every day. So now they have a VIP group. And so it's just like, all right, cool. I'll just keep doing this and and then I'll get paid for it.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. I'm checking to see if we have any questions here. Everyone's just saying like, I got to try this. This is brilliant. My mind is blown. I think we've answered a lot of the questions. Yeah. Is there anything else that can you kind of share the wording? You're so good at wording, Brooke. I'm always like, can you just write this all down?
Okay. So
give us an example of the script. I'm not a script. Just give us an example of the wording that you use when you talk to them. Maybe start from the beginning of the host and then all the way to becoming a stylist.
Wait, start from the beginning, like when they're first a hostess?
Yeah, just real quick little
tidbits. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, on Monday or Tuesday, after I've seen that they're starting to do well. Now this is one thing I wanted to tell you. We are so judgy. Some of the people that I think would make the best stylists in the world won't even give me the time of day. And some of the people that I think of, they're too shy and introverted, are like my rock star stylist. So like, even though we start out being judgy, this makes it easy. If you do this, I've started doing this to every single hostess that I have, the guest one, because that way it takes the pressure off of you thinking, are they going to be good? Or are they going to be good? But in the beginning, I'm putting my feelers out there. So on Monday or Tuesday, if they're doing great, I'm saying, you know, you should be doing this as well. Like, and then I wait for their response. And regardless of whether their response, maybe they say they don't have time, I may even dive into, well, I didn't think I had time either, and then I tell them how I include it. If they say, yeah, I've been thinking about it, then I'll just dive right into my story. And like I said, I will tell them through voice messages or text my story, and then I share my join link and just say, no pressure. This is if you have any additional questions, or like if you're just by chance ready to join, this has all of the above. And so we go until Wednesday.
So really quick, I just love that you give them your join link at the beginning. Because haven't you said some of them have just surprised you and like signed up?
Yes.
So yes. I love that you're starting the conversation with a join link.
Right. Yes. I mean, because what's it going to hurt? I mean, the worst case scenario, they're just like, nah, I just want to be your customer. Okay, I'll take your business. That's fine with me too. Right. We need customers. So by Wednesday, if I haven't heard back from them, I'll check back in. And that's when I tell them, look, I'm about to start setting up your girls' night in. I needed to know, or I'd like to know whether you've thought any more about this, because I want to know whether to push them your way or my way. Either way, no pressure. And that gives them a timetable, because they know I'm going to have to start scheduling posts. And I also tell them, like, you know, if you're joining as a stylist, I want the parties to be signed up with you, and I want any additional sales to be with you. But if it's for me, then, you know, we'll draw them into my VIP page, and we'll book your friends with me. And so that gives them that little, and if they're still like, I don't know, well, then I'll just, you know, wait a little bit. And then I've had a lot of people join then, and then we flip it right then. Now, if they're still on the fence, which I've had people that are like not interested, or they say, I just don't think it's the time right now, or I'm still unsure. This is why I started doing the guest stylist thing, because like, why not just let them see how it is, you know?
Yeah. And I just have to pause you, because this is seed number 2 she just planted, and that's like on a Wednesday, right? So it's like number 1 is on a Monday seed, or is it Monday or Sunday?
Monday.
Seed number 2 is on Wednesday, and then I just
Yes. And then Thursday, we have the questions in the girls' night giveaway, like ask any questions, about becoming a stylist. So you're planting seeds to everyone then.
Mhm.
And then Friday, we're wrapping it up. And so, well, no, Friday, I guess is the last day of the party. And now Saturday is when I continue doing, if they haven't joined yet, everyone, regardless if I've planted the seed yet or not, everyone is going to be asked, do you want to be a guest stylist? And I think that's something, like I said, I was at first, I was like only doing it if they haven't reached 150. But then I started doing it like, what if they want to reach 300? What if they want to reach the next one? Like, who am I to, stop them, and they can see if they like it. So
I love that. So there you go. There's three seeds that you're planting, and that is why you've been able to recruit like a boss.
yes.
Like, how many would you say, how many people generally join in your parties versus don't? Like, give me like a rough percentage. I'm just curious.
Oh my gosh. I think everybody that I had, well, no, there's been 2 girls that just joined randomly, like I didn't even know them, but like most of them come from parties. Almost, I'm trying to think of who didn't come from a party.
Well, so, I guess I'm saying of your hostesses, what percent of your hostesses?
Oh, okay. So I generally have 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, maybe 8 to 12 parties, and I have about 2 hostesses or 2 people a month join. So I don't know the percentage of that, even though I should, because I'm an accountant.
Let's say 25%. That's about, like 20%, 2 out of 10.
20. Right. So, like, imagine if you didn't do that. Like, how many people you'd be missing out on? Because, like,
right.
Sometimes it's only 2. It's 2. It's consistently been 2, but sometimes there's been far more than that.
Yeah, you've had some amazing months where you recruited like 4 or 5 or more. And I love it because, like, we never know if like you said, we can't be judgy. We never know if they want to join if you don't ask. And she's planting that seed 3 times. So I love this whole idea. It's so genius. Everyone's loving it. I hope you guys give it a try, because even if you don't plant the seed the first time, the second time, like you said, at least offer to make them a guest stylist. Like,
right, because it's no pressure on you or them, because to them you're just trying to get them more sales, and that is what you're doing. Like, you want them to reach goals so that they feel excited about having a party.
Yeah.
It just kills multiple birds with one stone. They reach that, and then they can see that being a stylist is fun.
Yeah. Couple questions, then we're gonna wrap it up. Somebody said, where do you find, well, first of all, how many parties do you do a week in order to do 10 a month? Is that like, do you do about 2 to 3 a week?
Yes. Lately it's been 3, and then a launch party. My sweet spot is 4, but sometimes I get them, sometimes I don't.
Do you use any software scheduling programs?
Girl, I'm so old school. No. But they do get all the same posts at all the same time. Like, I am not one of those really crafty girls that do like Star Wars party for you and coffee party for you. Like, it's all
the same template. Yeah. And do you use Facebook Scheduler, or do you just?
Yes, I do schedule out everything.
Okay.
I do the party hour, I guess that's what I call it, the power hour every day. And so I spend 15 minutes scheduling in my parties every day. That's it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Love that. So you just schedule them daily, not like all at once or whatever. Okay, cool. And somebody said, any pro tips for finding these hostesses?
Finding hostesses? I do, like I said, the power hour, where you are, one of your things is people. So you're friending new people every day. You're increasing your circle of influence every day. And so I started alphabetically in my friend list, and started asking people if they wanted samples. And so I start with A, and and I have the same little kind of script that I do. And I always post a current Nelfie and tell them, these are game changers. And, what, if you've never tried it before, what's your shipping address? And I'll pop you one in the mail. And then whoever responds with that, in about 2 weeks, this is how I first started. When I first started, I do it in A's. 2 weeks later, I started going back to the beginning, and whoever gave me an address, I was following up. And if they say that they've tried it and then they love it, I'll be like, you ready to earn some free ones? I've got this date, and this date available. Which one works for you? And I mean, I fill it up every time. When I've stopped doing that, I stop having as many parties.
Brilliant. That is brilliant. Everybody's commenting like, ooh, that's a good idea. Someone said you do this in Messenger. It's all in Messenger, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I learned that from you and Mackenzie, the Power Hour. So you do 15 minutes in posting on your VIP and personal page, 15 minutes in parties where you're posting or doing whatever you need to do in your party. 15 minutes of adding more people a day and telling people happy birthday and liking people's posts, whatever. I set my alarm. Like when the alarm's done, is done.
Girl done.
15 minutes in personal messages. And that's where I'm sending out message asking about samples and I'm following up.
Love it. So good. So good. And someone said, can you share the script? Like, or can you tell us what you say about the samples? Like, do you remember what you typically say?
I normally, because I cannot remember who I've given a sample to and who I haven't, I'll say, I use their name. I try not to say, hey girl.
Yeah.
So I would be like, hey, Kelly, I don't remember if I've given you a sample yet. These things of Color Street. If you haven't tried it, these things were a game changer for me, or these babies were a game changer for me. And then I'll say, what's your shipping address? And if you haven't tried it, I'll pop you one in the mail. And then I'll put in parentheses my current mani. And I always take pictures every single week of my current Nelfie and I'll send it to them. So, because, sometimes like for example, now I have darker nails. It may work with some girls. And I've had some people be like, I prefer red nails or whatever. And so the next week I may have red nails or, anyway, that's why I do a current Nelfie.
I love it. Well, just the picture, the pictures are powerful. So I love that it includes a picture. And I love the script, what you usually say is like really casual. And I don't think it feels spammy because it's like, can I send you something for free?
Right. Right. And that's what I love about it. Because so many people that have, that are in other sales type things, they're wanting you to just go onto their site and buy some super expensive product that may be wonderful, but I haven't tried it. So like, that's what I love about Color Street is we have the opportunity to let them try it. Plus they can make a cute mixed mani with their own nail polish. I mean, it's a win-win.
Yes. So good. All right. Thank you so much, Brooke. You are a boss and everyone's loving all these tips. This is it's just genius. I hope everybody gives it a try and tries your tips for booking parties too. It's so brilliant. So thank you for your time. And thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.